Okay. Well,
denial for some
we know
reason
now,
that we're unaware of.
We know now that it was a cover-up because we were supplying arms to Syria through Turkey, and this ambassador was the guy brokering the deal for these arms.
And also,
we know this was a cover-up.
There was the question of having inadequate defense for our ambassadors, but maybe that was part of this conspiracy, dare I say?
Maybe. And that I can't comment on that.
I'm not saying operation.
Yeah.
An operation.
And I don't know. I mean, because
a clandestine
Ambassador Stevens asked several times for security, said he was afraid for his life.
Right.
I mean, we've gotten into all that.
Anyways, okay. So terror. Okay, so let's move on.
So the next morning, Candy Crowley came out, and during the debate, she did say he called it an act of terror, but it did take them 2 weeks to stop blaming this video. So she gave Romney that point. She came out the next morning and said, well, maybe Romney shouldn't have said terror. He picked the wrong word, but the administration wasn't really calling it an act of terror.
An act of terror like they are defining it now.
Right. Now they are. They are now. They still haven't done much about it. I mean, they did an investigation over there in like a day. The FBI was over there, and it's just crazy. So
maybe that's why the Navy SEALs were there with the arms deal and stuff? Is that what you're saying? Well, I thought there was a Navy SEAL investigating certain claims about,
and that's
in wrong place, wrong time type of thing.
Yeah, I think so. And I think one of the SEALs that died actually was somewhere else because Romney brought it up in one of his speeches that he knew the guy, that he was a SEAL somewhere else, heard about the attack and ran down to help.
Okay.
Romney was making that as part of. He was using that on his campaign, not as a political thing, but as talking and showing support for this and how it was sad and that these are real people that died.
Right.
Interestingly, that person's mother asked Romney to stop talking about it, and he respected the wishes, even though he wasn't making it political. But and in fact, he was the one speech I saw. He started breaking up because he met this guy. He knew the guy. He lived in his neighborhood, and it was really close to him. That's a bit off topic, but Candy Crowley didn't have her shortage of interruptions in the debate. I mean, she jumped in and helped Obama out as much as she could. That's really what it was. And the questions, they were undecided voters, but we got the standard, what are you going to do about gas prices, which ended up bringing about a good response. And we got I'm a woman and we don't get paid fairly because we're women, and what are you going to do about equal pay?
Woman in bondage.
Yeah, right. And binder. Not
see, I entirely missed that. Oh, well, I'm not quite as interested in that now as I was before.
I don't have any clips
I thought it was
that,
women in bondage.
I don't think it was. No, he had them in a binder, and maybe that's what he meant. But the Lilly Ledbetter law that does not guarantee equal pay for women at all.
So that was
does other things.
Twisting of the
the stat she used that women make 70 cents for every dollar a man does is not true.
Isn't that an old stat from like 40 years ago?
Well, and it was and I don't think it was based on. It wasn't apples for apples. Yeah. It was a general salary thing, maybe industry wide or whatever it was. That's fine.
Okay.
But going back to the question about gas prices, basically what the question was, and the question, it was a decent question. I made fun of it a bit, but it was okay. His question was, is it the role of the federal government to lower gas prices, to lower the price that you pay at the pump? Is that something the federal government should be involved in? Should they work to get the prices lower?
No.
Well, I agree with you. Now, Obama said that your energy costs will necessarily skyrocket. Back when he was elected, or when he was campaigning, and he said that you can build a coal company if you want, but it'll bankrupt you because the costs will be so high.
Right.
I mean, these are things he said. And the question, it was interesting because this was pointed at Obama. It was, your Secretary of Energy has said several times that it is not the role of the federal government to lower gas prices. But again, he's the guy that says we need to jack prices up so we can go to solar and wind power.
Yeah, there's an agenda involved.
Yeah.
You got a little something for that?
I do. So the topic came up of leases to drill on public land.
I saw that.
And this was my favorite part of the debate because it got very heated between the two.
Yeah.
They got pretty close to each other. They had they were fingers and faces
pointing.
There was
testosterone there.
It was pretty good, and I was interested at this point. It piqued my interest. Nothing happened. Luckily, we don't want to see that.
Well, that's because you're into Ultimate Fight Club.
I'm not. Yeah. But I mean, we don't want.
You just told me today the greatest thrill you've ever had is when you hit somebody and they go down.
When they deserve it. I don't think either of these men.
No,
deserve
you said that you do that all the time to your kids too. So
yeah, I don't think I did say that actually. So let's not talk about that.
Okay.
That's the strategy you need on all of the above strategy, and that's what we're going to do in the next 4 years.
But that's not what you've done in the last 4 years. That's the problem. Sure. In the last 4 years, you cut permits and licenses on federal land and federal waters in half.
Not true, Governor Romney.
Wow. So how much did you cut them by?
Not true.
By how much did you cut them by then?
Governor, we have actually produced more oil.
No. How much did you cut licenses and permits on federal land and federal waters?
Governor Romney, here's what we did. There were a whole bunch of oil companies.
No, I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
You want me to answer
How much did you cut them by?
I'm happy to answer the question.
All right, and it is?
Here's what happened. You had a whole bunch of oil companies who had leases on public lands that they weren't using. So what we said was, you can't just sit on this for 10, 20, 30 years, decide when you want to drill, when you want to produce, when it's most profitable for you. These are public lands. So if you want to drill on public lands, you use it or you lose it.
Okay, now
and so what we did was take away those leases, and we are now reletting them so that we can actually make a profit.
And production on government land is down.
No, it isn't.
Production on government land of oil is down 14%, and production on gas is down 9%.
It's just not true.
It's absolutely true. Look, there's no question but that the people recognize that we have not produced more oil and gas on federal lands and in federal waters. And coal production is not up. Coal jobs are not up. I was just at a coal facility where some 1,200 people lost their jobs. The right course for America is to have a true all-of-the-above policy. I don't think anyone really believes that you're a person who's going to be pushing for oil and gas and coal. You'll get your chance in a moment. I'm still speaking.
Well,
and the answer is I don't believe people think that's the case because that wasn't a question.
Okay.
That was a statement. I don't think the American people believe that. I will fight for oil, coal, and natural gas. And the proof of whether a strategy is working or not is what the price is that you're paying at the pump.
Yeah, I love that when Obama starts talking and said, "You asked me a question," and Romney says, "That wasn't a question. You'll get your chance." You know, I like that. That was interesting.
A little ballsy.
You know, isn't that what we want?
Well, yeah.
Chris Matthews, he's this idiot, complete moron,
and very liberal.
Very liberal on MSNBC. Yeah. He got a thrill up his leg every time Obama talked. Right, that's what he said. After the debate, because I like to watch MSNBC after these debates.
Yeah.
Because sometimes my blood pressure gets a little low and I need to raise it
up.
Really? Yeah. He said,
kind of flatline.
He said Mitt Romney doesn't understand the Constitution because he was speaking down to the president, and you don't tell the president you'll get your chance.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I don't know if you've ever read the U.S. Constitution. I don't know if you've ever read that, but
I've perused it.
But I think, in fact, we have an amendment that was created, or at least specifically covers speaking out against the current administration.
What is that amendment?
Well, I was talking to a guy in Europe today. He said the First Amendment was gun rights.
Yeah.
Second Amendment, I think it was the First Amendment. Yeah. He's probably Chris Matthews' European friend, the guy I was talking to today.
His doppelganger?
Yeah, I would think so. So that was interesting. And he's saying, "Oh, Mitt Romney looks down on the president as a person." And we know what those reasons are, but we're not going to say what the reasons. I mean,
he's an ass.
Yeah, come on.
When we did the Second Amendment March, he interviewed Skip Coryell.
Yeah, I saw that.
He tried to.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's
he's an ass.
Yes, he is. He is.
So this is for Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you wanted to do.
No. That was me slamming the door in his face. That's what that was.
Then let me make it more clear. That's a lot of doors slamming.
There's
a lot of doors slamming.
I do not want to do that.
No, nobody wants to do that.
He has every right
to say what he wants.
I will defend his right.
Yes.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
One of the dumbest people I've seen on TV. Complete moron.
And he has a national TV show and we don't.
Well, we should try to get him on our show. Yeah. I'm sure he'll come on now.
God, yes,
I'll send him this. I'll send him a link to this.
And we'll give him a chance for a rebuttal.
Yes, we will. Yeah. Oh, wow, would that be fun?
Oh, that would be
fun. Oh, I would love it. I would love it. Yeah. He's kind of like you in that he just talks over people when he disagrees with them.
What are you talking about?
He just gets loud and
I know it. He gets loud and angry and stuff. Because, as a friend of mine said, just because you're louder doesn't mean you're right. And he's right. Because I get passionate and I get louder and louder and louder, and it doesn't mean I'm right or that I'm making my point.
If anybody understands that,
it's you.
It's me.
Just in the car today, just driving.
Yeah. Yep. And you were almost walking.
I know you were going to
very close, but that wasn't the only time it got heated. They were talking about their pensions.
Oh, I love
how
that.
Big their pensions were, and who has the big pension. We do know from Joe Biden that Barack Obama has a big stick, but does he have a big pension? I don't know. Let's listen.
Let's find out.
I've been waiting for you. Could you
just going to make a point? Any investments I have over the last 8 years have been managed by a blind trust. And I understand they do include investments outside the United States, including in Chinese companies. Mr. President, have you looked at your pension? Have you looked at your pension?
I've got to say.
Mr. President, have you looked at your pension?
You know, I don't look at my pension. It's not as big as yours, so it doesn't take as long.
Let me give you some. Let me give you some advice.
I don't check it that often.
Let me give you some advice. Look at your pension. You also have investments in Chinese companies. You also have investments outside the United States. You also have investments through a Cayman's Trust.
We're sort of way off topic
Mr.
here,
President,
Governor Romney. Completely off of immigration.
I thought we were talking about immigration.
And we
I came back to it.
I'd like to have you sit down, Governor Romney. Thank you.
I do want to make sure that we just understand something.
Yeah, I bet you do. Every time he gets under fire and he's wrong and he doesn't have a way to defend it, he looks to Candy, the moderator, for help, and he I thought we were talking about immigration.
It's like a sheep with its foot caught in the fence.
It really is.
Looking at the farmer for.
Well, Candy,
for help.
I thought we were talking about immigration, and I'd like to talk about immigration. And not my pension, because it's not as big as Governor Romney's.
That's the worst Obama I've ever heard.
Well, it was a bad one. It was a bad one. Now, hey, a little bit of fact check here.
Okay.
Barack Obama said that his pension is not as big as Mitt Romney's.
That's probably true so far.
Mitt Romney has zero pension. So not true, because he's a successful businessman and took care of his retirement with other means.
He has Social Security coming, though.
Yeah, sure. Sure, and that's a topic for that's a topic for another day. But just from the Illinois Senate, where Barack Obama held a seat in the Senate, he's getting his pension is huge.
Oh, come on,
huge.
He only served one term, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's
what do you
huge.
mean, like $40,000 a year?
Yeah, like million.
No,
I don't know if it's a million.
You're lying.
It's big.
Nobody makes $1 million in 4 years in any state senate. No way.
No, I don't know how big his pension is from
probably
the
a few
Senate.
$1,000.
And in fact, I don't know if that's come out yet.
But he gets a nice pension from being president.
Yeah,
of the
United States.
States.
His pension there.
Plus, he's going to make millions of dollars on lecture tours and writing books and everything else.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know what his pension is from the Senate.
I'm not worried about him or his kids.
No. But his pension is bigger than Mitt Romney, so that was just a little inaccuracy there.
Well, yeah, if you're defining pension, that's true. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about net worth,
words matter.
I know
words matter.
I know.
We were specifically talking about Mitt Romney's investments in foreign companies. Barack Obama has investments in a lot of those same countries.
I have a 401k for my retirement, and I invest in overseas stocks. So
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
with either of them, but that's one of those